scientific attitude, and freedom. These are 12 texts we have. Okay. After the completion of our discussion under reading comprehension part, I will upload this file for you. And this file includes summary of all the text, important questions, and answers of important questions in some places, right? So this is the thing. Uh, as we have 12 texts to deal with, first I am taking you into the discussion on the text entitled Knowledge and Wisdom. Uh, I have summarized all these texts. If you go through the primary text, if you go through your textbook, you can read the whole story or essay there. But I have just taken skeleton. That will be enough to answer the questions. But if you want to have more information, you can go through the textbook. Now, the text Knowledge and Wisdom is written by Bernard Russell. And Bernard Russell in this text entitled Knowledge and Wisdom focuses on three basic ideas. Three ideas. And first idea of Bernard Russell is knowledge and wisdom are interrelated but different things. This is the point made by Russell in his text Knowledge and Wisdom. Knowledge and wisdom are interrelated but different things. Keep in mind. These are interrelated but different things. I will prove this idea with the help of this text. Knowledge and wisdom interrelated but different. First idea. Then Russell differentiates between knowledge and wisdom with examples. Right? First point he makes is knowledge and wisdom are interrelated but different. Then he talks about how these things are interrelated. After that, he differentiates between knowledge examples to differentiate between two. At the end of the text, Bernard Russell makes this point. With every increase of our knowledge and skill, wisdom talks about three factors, three factors that contribute to wisdom. And these factors contributing wisdom are a sense of proportion, comparativeness, and depth of feeling. Let me, take you into the text now. I just told you, what is in the text, uh, what is the focus of Bernard Russell. Okay, so let's start our discussion. Yeah, the text knowledge and wisdom basically aims to differentiate between knowledge and wisdom and also tries to show how these things are interrelated. According to Bernard Russell, knowledge means knowing the fact, knowing about things, right? So, knowledge is the information you have on any field, on any issue, on any subject matter that is taken as knowledge. So, information. So knowledge is the process of gathering. This is totally, process of gathering information on certain issues, on certain areas, on certain field of study, on certain object or whatever. Knowledge is accumulation of facts and information you have on certain field, on certain issue, on certain area. Yes, this is knowledge. Information you have regarding certain field is knowledge. It is just accumulation of facts and data that you have learned about or experienced in your life. Okay, knowledge is acquired through effort. You can use memorization to have some knowledge. You can go for rote learning to have knowledge. And according to Bernard Russell, knowledgeable people just know what and why. Knowledgeable people just to know what and why. For example, the fire is hot, and why the fire is hot. Knowledgeable people just can answer two questions. Knowledgeable people just can answer two questions: what and why. The fire is hot, for example, and they may know the reason why the fire is hot. That's all. But but wise or wisdom is the ability to use the knowledge we have for the utmost benefit of human beings. So this wisdom is the ability to create value out of the knowledge, out of the information we have. It is the ability to decide which aspect of the knowledge is true, long lasting, and applicable to our life. In a broader sense, this wisdom is highest state of consciousness. Highest state of consciousness means it is the ability to use the information we have to create value, to create something new, to invent something. This is wisdom. It is the ability, it is the highest state of consciousness. It is the ability to decide which aspect of the knowledge is true, long lasting, and applicable to our life. It is the ability to use the knowledge we have for the utmost benefit of human beings. It is the ability to knowledge we have to create value. So these definitions, these definitions prove that knowledge without wisdom is meaningless. Because if you just know what something is, why something is, you have, you can have so much of information regarding each and everything. Is that of any value? Or does just that accumulation of facts and information, is valuable for the society? How much you know, that is not of so much important. What you can do with something you know, that matters. That means whether you can apply your knowledge into practicality or not, that matters. So knowledge is, probably you have got the point, knowledge is just accumulation of facts and information on different fields. But wisdom is ability to use that knowledge in different areas, different field of study, for the benefit of human beings. In addition to this, it is the ability to decide which aspect of the knowledge is true, long lasting, and applicable to our life. Because everything that you know may not be correct, that you know may not be right, that you know may not be applicable to your life, that you know may not be long lasting. So you should decide that. If you use your knowledge blindly, that creates destruction. Instead of uh, going for construction, if you use your knowledge carelessly, unwisely, it certainly creates destruction. So this knowledge must be guided with wisdom. Knowledge must be guided with wisdom. With the increasement in our knowledge, wisdom becomes necessary. Right? So as I talked about, knowledge and wisdom, let me once again, you know, present the example. Knowledgeable knows the fire is hot and why the fire is hot. But wise person can use that fire to develop the more fuel efficient automobile. This is the practical application. Knowledgeable just knows the fire is hot and reasons why the fire is hot, but wise person can create something out of that fire. In the past, people just run train, run the train with the help of the fire, or simply, wise person can develop a cleaner burning, more fuel efficient automobile with the help of the fire. So if you just collect information, if you just have theoretical knowledge, and you are unable to apply that into practicality, that is meaningless, right? So this is the thing. Hence, here are some lines. Hence, wisdom is the ability to detect and judge which aspects of that knowledge are true, right, lasting, and applicable to our life. It is the ability to apply that knowledge to the greater scheme of life. It is about knowing the reason or meaning about why something is and what it means to our life. Knowledgeable person just know what it is and why it is, but wise person always thinks about why something is, what it means to our life. That means why something is and what we can do with something we have, right? This is the thing. This is the difference between knowledge and wisdom. And I already told you, with the increasement in our knowledge, wisdom becomes necessary. Otherwise, knowledge will be destructive, not constructive for human beings, for the society, even for yourself, and even for your members of the family. Because this wisdom is is a wider thing. Wisdom includes various other things like, your feelings, emotions, love, kindness, pity for others, all these things. If people just possess knowledge, not love for others, not kindness for others means that can be even individual, even society, even environment, everything, right? So you must have love, kindness towards others. You should have pity for towards others, right? So only then you will be able to apply that knowledge you have for the betterment of the society, betterment of the people of the society, betterment of the environment. Otherwise, not. Now, this that is why this knowledge must be guided by wisdom. There are three factors that contributes to wisdom. I already told you wisdom is it's a broader concept. It includes so many things. First one is why something is, what it means to our life, how you can apply the knowledge for the utmost benefit. And this wise people must have, a feeling for love and kindness towards others too. So this wisdom includes some factors, or just there are some factors that contributes to wisdom. So what are these? First one is a sense of purpose. What is the sense of proportion? Let me clarify it. I have written the definition. I will upload the file. You can go through it. But I should explain it with example now. Sense of proportion. So sense of proportion is one of the factors that contributes to wisdom. What is it? This sense of proportion is the ability to take into consideration all the aspects of your action while solving the problem. This is taken as sense of proportion. Ability to take into consideration all the aspects of your action while solving the problem. This is taken as sense of proportion. Ability to take into consideration all the aspects of your action while solving the problem means your concern should not be only on solving the problem. Your target should not be always only just to solve the problem. When you plan to solve a problem, what happens? You take certain action. So you must think about what are the side effects of that action that you are taking to solve certain problem. You should be careful about that. So if you are just knowledgeable, what you do, you just try to solve the problem without caring about its side effects, without caring about the consequences of your action. But if you are wise, you become careful about all the aspects of your action to solve the problem. For example, let me clarify it with example. What this term sense of proportion, what does this term sense of proportion mean? For example, the government of Nepal is constructing airport uh, in Nijgarh. That's good. That's awesome job. That is the need of the people of the country, and government should construct airport there. That's fine. But as there is no airport at that place, all the people have demanded that, and government is addressing that problem. No problem with that. Fine. But look, you are addressing the problem, you are solving the problem, that's a good job. But in the name of development, in the name of construction, what you are doing, what are the side effects of your action? You are going for the huge deforestation. Millions of trees, millions of trees have been cut down because people are using just their knowledge. They are not becoming wise. They are taking action without being careful about the negative consequences of their action, without caring about all the aspects of their action. So that, constructing that airport is not everything. You should also think about, that saving the life of the trees, saving the trees, millions of trees there. Can't we construct in that airport somewhere else? Can't we think about that? This is, sense of proportion. Taking action is not enough. Solving problem is not enough. You should think about the consequences of your action, all the aspects of your action, and attaching due weight to each. Right? Here is another definition. It also refers to capacity of a person take into account all the important factors in a problem and to attach due weight to each. Take into consideration all the factors in a problem. Just don't take problem as everything. If you take problem as everything, what happens? You take action, suddenly you don't care about, you become careful about the all the aspects of your action. That means you do more destruction than construction. You think uh, that you are doing something great for the country, something great for the people, something great for the society, something great for all the human beings. But what you are doing, you are destroying everything, right? So constructing airport is good, but going for that huge deforestation, millions of trees, cutting down millions of trees, that will have huge impact in the environment, right? So you should think about that too. Whenever you take action, you think about the side effects. For example, you can have thousands of examples. I just presented one, For example, you are just inventing atom bomb. You are composing atom bomb. That's fine. You can compose that. But if you give it to fool, what happens? He will use that, or he or she will use that to take away the life of innocent people. Invent atom bomb, compose that, no problem. But you also should think about the way to use it properly when it's necessary, right? You should not use your knowledge to create destruction. You always use your knowledge that has positive impact in the society, in the environment. Same case, you can invent elixir, means something, if you take that you never die. Is it good to invent that? Is it good to have such type of medicine? You also should think about that. What will be the consequences? Can we maintain the standard of life if nobody dies in the world? Can this world bear so much of population? Will there be love, kindness, pity, fear among the people if they are sure of not dying? No. So, taking action is not enough. You should think about the consequences of your action while solving the problem. Fine. This is all about sense of purpose. I think you are clear. So next one is next factor that contributes to wisdom is comparativeness. What is comparativeness? Yes. So wise people always take into account all the ideas to solve the problem while solving the problem. If you are doing something, what or if wise people are doing something, what they do, they welcome all the ideas. They look at the things from different angles, different perspectives. They welcome different ranges of ideas to create value, to solve something. They don't stick to single idea. They are not so much rigid. Yes, you know wise people are selective. Certainly, they are selective, but they don't resist anything. They welcome all the ideas. Then, at the end, yes, they become selective. They are not impartial, they are wise. First, take into consideration all the ideas, all the concepts, all the techniques to solve the problem or to create something. Then, at the end, they become selective. Yeah, this is the best, that one is the best, right? Let's use that. Let's use this one because it has certain these features, right? So comparativeness is another quality of wise people. Now next one is very important one is depth feeling. Depth feeling depth feeling means feeling of love and kindness, pity towards others. If you are just knowledgeable, if you are just skilled, that is meaningless. Unless you have some feelings for the society, feeling for the environment, feeling for your near and dear ones, you cannot use your knowledge properly. If you lack moral values, we talked about this idea in the class too. If you lack moral values, you cannot use your knowledge properly. Doctors cannot use their knowledge properly. Engineers cannot use their properly. Professors cannot use their knowledge properly. Writers cannot use their knowledge properly. Or everyone in every field, yeah, nobody can use their knowledge properly if they lack moral values, if they lack depth feeling, if they lack love and kindness towards the people. For example, if you truly love the environment, if you truly love the trees, you cannot go for deforestation the way government has gone there at Nisgad. You never can. You don't talk about millions of trees. You even cannot cut a single tree. If you really understand the world, if you really understand the living as well as non-living things, if you find your life in that tree, do you cut that? Never. No. You lack feeling. You lack feeling. Then what you do in the name of development? You do whatever you like. In the name of earning money, you do whatever you like, because you lack depth feeling. You don't feel anything. You don't feel anything. So depth feeling is necessary. Here I have written some lines. You can go through these lines. Our knowledge and feeling should be wide. A person with wide knowledge, look, a person with wide knowledge but narrow feelings cannot work properly. I already told you. If you have wide knowledge on different field, if you are brilliant, if you are skilled, but if you lack love, kindness, pity towards others means, I'm using the term others repeatedly. Others means towards society, towards your members of the family, towards environment, right? So if you don't have love and kindness, you uh, cannot use your knowledge properly. Got it? So these are the ideas presented by Bernard Russell in his text entitled Knowledge and Wisdom. Now, you will be asked some questions from this text. Let's deal with probable questions and some questions asked previously. Basically, you are asked some questions from this text like define sense of proportion. How do you differentiate between knowledge and wisdom? What are the factors that contribute to wisdom? Even the best technicians should be good citizens. Explain. How do you differentiate between impartiality and wisdom? These are the questions. Now, let me take you through these questions. Here also, for your convenience, I have differentiated between knowledge and wisdom. You go through this written piece once again. Don't depend on whatever example I have presented here, whatever example Bernard Russell has presented. Don't depend. You can just put forward your own examples. uh, like I presented an example of that Nisgard airport and some inventing some medicines, atom bombs, and all these things. So here, what do you mean by sense of proportion? I have written a paragraph under this because these two questions are repeatedly asked questions. So I have written answer. You can go through this answer. Look at the questions. Now, here are 5 questions. If you are asked question from this text, you will have one among these 5. Okay, now you read out these questions and ask me if you think you cannot answer any one of them. Okay, your time starts. You have just 1 minute, maximum 1 minute, to read out all these questions and just think about the answer. Okay, I'm sure you have read these all the questions. Can you answer all these questions? You just tell me. Can you answer all these questions? Number is 33. I can see Lake Raj, Kishore, Anup, Mohit. Can you answer all these questions, or just should I explain any one of them to you? What do you think? Abhishek, where is Vipul?
Yes, sir.
Can you answer all the questions that I display?
No, sir, only some of them.
Okay. Now, which one do you think you cannot answer?
First question about the sense of proportion.
Sense of proportion?
Yes, sir.
So, what do you understand by sense of proportion? Sense of proportion, ability to take into consideration all the aspects of your action while solving the problem. This is taken as sense of proportion. Here I have written clear definition, and I talked about it for a long time. When you solve any problem, your intention is not just to solve the problem. You should focus on the consequences of your action, right? So solving problem is not enough. What action you take to solve the problem, that action must have some side effects, consequences. You should be able to take into consideration all the consequences as well. Then only you become wise. I presented an example of constructing Nisgad airport. Constructing Nisgad airport, yes, government is addressing the problem of the common people, that's fine. But in the name of constructing airport, what we are doing is we are just going for huge deforestation. Millions of trees have been cut down. Is it good? So addressing problem is not enough. You should think about the side effects of your action while addressing the problem. Then only you become wise. I talked on this idea a lot. Are you clear about sense of proportion?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me ask other one. Thank you. uh, if they don't, or if they are not in a position to answer any of these questions, uh, otherwise I will not explain, because there are some complex questions here. If they don't ask, why to explain? Who is next one here? Let me ask next CR. uh, uh, Anupma,
Yes,
is
sir.
she here? Can you answer all these questions? You read out these five questions. Can you answer all these questions? Uh,
After going through the text, I think I can answer, sir.
can you answer these questions with the help of the discussion we discussed about? Now, how many questions you can answer here? Can you answer the first one? What do you understand by sense of proportion?
Sorry, sir. I wasn't here when you talk about that.
So we discussed for for a long time. Okay. So thank you. If you just go through this summary, you can answer this question. I know. What do you mean? What do you understand by sense of proportion? Then how do you differentiate between knowledge and wisdom? You can answer these two questions. I know. What are the factors that contribute to wisdom? I talked about it. I have written it clearly. Three factors that contribute to wisdom: sense of proportion, uh, comparativeness, and depth of feeling. Even the best technician in the exam, most of the time you don't understand questions when they are just asked in slight different way. Even the best technicians should also be good citizen. What is this question? So this question means our skill or human skill and expertise is meaningless, or these two things are meaningless if they lack moral values. This is the question. The question has been asked differently. Even the best technicians should also be good citizen. Explain. That means human expertise and skill are meaningless if they don't have feeling of love, kindness, and pity towards others. Explain. This is the question. So don't get confused. Now, this is also the question asked: what is the relationship or difference between impartiality and wisdom? So, impartiality means, probably impartiality is giving equal priority to all the aspects of the knowledge you have, giving equal priority to all the opinions, giving equal priority to all the options, giving equal priority to all the problems. This is taken as impartiality. So you never can become impartial everywhere. So if you become impartial, your actions will not be effective. You cannot grow so much, you cannot do anything properly if you are impartial, if you are totally impartial. You should not be impartial. You should be wise. Wise means, yes, you take into consideration all the ideas but become selective. That means wisdom is the ability to detect which aspect of the knowledge is true, long lasting, and applicable to our life. So, everything, you don't give priority to everything that you know equally, you become selective. So impartiality means giving equal priority to all the aspects of the knowledge, each and everything. But wisdom is ability to judge which aspect of the knowledge is true, long lasting, and applicable to our life. In addition to this, it is the ability to give due weight to each and everything, to due weight to actions, due weight to problems, due weight to all the aspect of the knowledge. So you should become wise, not impartial, because impartiality doesn't work everywhere, right? So being wise doesn't mean that you discriminate. Being selective and having discrimination, these are two different things, right? You become selective doesn't mean that you are discriminating. Okay. Now I think with the help of this discussion and with the help of the things that I have written here, you can answer all these questions. Fine.
Sir,
This is about, yes, go on, go on.
I didn't get the last one, sir. Even the best technician actual meaning here, sir.
Yeah, even the best technicians means educated people, skilled people of the nation. Got it? Best
Sir,
technicians means skilled people of the country, like doctors, engineers, pilots, all these philosophers. These are taken as technicians. These are taken
sir,
as great. Yes, go on.
the question is even the best technician should also be a good citizen, sir. Doctors, engineers, they are already a little bit good citizen, aren't they?
No, no, they are not good citizen. I already told you, having knowledge, having expertise, having certain skill doesn't mean that you are good citizen. If you combine, your knowledge, or if you guide your knowledge with moral values, then only you are good citizen. Otherwise, these best technicians will employ their knowledge to create destruction, or they will not be able to use their knowledge properly if they lack moral values. So even the best technicians means even all the educated skilled people should be good citizen, means they should follow all the moral values of the society. Only then they will be able to use that knowledge properly. The question here is differently asked question, but the basic question is all the people, all the expert should be abided by rules and regulations of the certain place of the country to use their knowledge for the utmost benefit of human beings. Explain this statement. This is the question.
Sir, in our discussion, in certain part you talked about Nizhgard Airport. Uh,
Yes.
that sir, Nizhgard Airport is quite good now, sir, because many of the citizens will get a better benefit from it
Yes,
in
I
mass.
already told you. Yes, I already told you. Like, you know, constructing Nizhgard Airport, that addressing that problem is not bad in itself, and that is not bad. But you should think about the consequences. Now, look, you think about the consequences. You are taking action. When you take action, certainly it will have consequences. It will have consequences. But whether the consequences are greater or your action is greater, right? So yes, if you think that it is necessary to cut down the trees to construct that airport, then you go for that action. You can go for that action because every action will have consequences.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So i I used the term attach due weight to each and everything. Attaching due weight means, yes, you are constructing Nizhgad airport and there is deforestation too, but which one is greater? Yes, there is huge deforestation, but still that constructing airport is of more importance for human beings. You go for that. I told that. But you become careful about the consequences of your action. You don't ignore the consequences.
Yes,
Are
sir.
you clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is the idea. Yes. I am not against that construction. I am just talking about the consequences. Wise person thinks about the consequences of the action. Yes, if he finds that action more beneficial for the human beings, then its consequences, you take that action. If you are really, creating more destruction in the name of construction, then you skip that action. This is the idea. Fine. So it's all about knowledge and wisdom. It's all about knowledge and wisdom. Now let me take you to another text, that is the mother of a traitor. This is very short text. The mother of a traitor. Okay, here is the text, the mother of a traitor. It is written by Maxim Gorky. I have taken the skeleton of the text. So this is the story, and probably stories are totally imaginative, right? Sometimes, yes, people write stories on the basis of their experience, but there is much modification to the real incidents, much modification to the real events whenever we talk about story. So these are story, these are totally imaginative. Don't question like, does it take place in the real world? No, you cannot question it this way, because in the imagination everything takes place, uh, if not in the real world. Okay. So in this story, this is very short story, there are two characters, Mona Marina. Two characters, Mona Marina and Harshan. Harshan is a traitor. Mona Marina is the head of the state. So, yeah, Harshan is certainly prince, and he is a traitor. Now, Mona Marina, as a citizen, as a woman, and as a head of the state, she has responsibility to maintain peace, prosperity in the state, in the country, and make its people happy. So this is the responsibility of each and every leaders. and she has got that responsibility too, to maintain peace, prosperity in the country, uh, to make, to keep people happy. She, is honest and always strives to do that. But the problem here is she has a son who is a traitor, and he's so cruel that he doesn't try to understand the feelings, emotions of the people, of anyone. He does whatever he likes to do. He always, thinks about satisfying his hunger. You know, he exploits people, he tortures people to quench his thirst regarding each and everything. Probably you know what I mean to say. Now look at the contradiction. Mother, at the head of the state, wants to maintain peace, prosperity, wants to keep people of the state happy, but he has such a cruel son who doesn't follow rules and regulations, doesn't care about feelings and emotions of the people, doesn't care about anything, does whatever he likes to do, and always even tortures people, even exploits people to fulfill his hunger, his desire for each and everything. Look at the nature of that person. He wants that each citizen and each and every object of the country should know his name and get afraid of him. Look at the, the guy. Look at the prince, look at the traitor. Basically, with the action of that traitor, no one in the country, no one in the, state is happy. On the one hand, the war is going on in the country, people are in trouble, problem, but look at the prince. On the other hand, the prince is so cruel. Now Mona Marina remains in conflict. Conflict means now she has to decide which one she wants to save, whether the country or her son. Because if there is her son, people will not be happy because he is not improving his habits and behavior. What to do? So Mona Marina is in conflict. That conflict created by dual love, love for the country and love for the son. Which one to save? Now, Mona Marina tries her best to convince her son not to do that, not to exploit people, not to torture people, not to act like wild beast, be sincere, be polite. She tries her best to convince him, but she fails to do that. Her son, doesn't care about her suggestions, her instructions. No. Then Mona Marina thinks a lot what to do. She remains in conflict of dual love, love for the country, love for the son. And probably for the mother, yeah, basically her children are the most precious thing, right? For every mother. And Mona Marina thinks a lot. Like, yes, I am thinking about my son, my child. But my child is exploiting millions of children in the state, in the country. And their children are also similar to my children or my child. So instead of just thinking about my child, why don't I think about the millions of children of the country? So As I always try my best to keep my son happy, there are millions of parents in this country who also, must be thinking so. That is why, as a mother, as a citizen, as a head of the state, I should not only think about my happiness. As a leader, as the head of the state, I should think about the happiness of the people of the country, millions of the people of the country. I should be ready to sacrifice my life for the betterment of the country, for the happiness of all the people of the country. Then only I will be considered very good leader. And I also should prove that human beings are not always self-centered. Never. They are not. Because what is the assumption? Human beings are, a selfish animal, self-centered animal. These leaders are self-centered. I should prove this idea wrong too. Human beings are not selfish, and all the leaders are not self-centered. So I should be ready to sacrifice my life, my son's life, for the happiness of rest of the people. Because killing other people's happiness for your happiness is poor act. But killing your happiness for the happiness of others is very good, you know, action, very wise action. So I should take it. As she fails to convince her son to follow rules and regulations. Then one day she calls her son, makes him sleep in her lap and stabs him to death. Then the pain of killing, her son is really unbearable for Mona Marina. Then she stabs herself to death and makes the country instead free from her cruel son. And there is no conflict in his mind, in her mind after that too, because after that everything is settled down. This is the story. This is the story. Now you can find some questions at the end of this text. What are these questions? Let me take you through these. There are three questions. You will have one among them in the exam. Now you go through these questions and just uh, you know try to answer these questions on the basis of the discussion, whether you can answer or not. Can you answer all those
Sure.
questions? Yes. Biplab. Okay. You go on.
So the last one, write the theme of the story, The Mother of Terror by Maximum Gorky.
Okay, Maxim Gorky. Now, yes, that means you can answer this question because we discussed a lot on this. You answer this question on the basis of the text of the mother of a traitor. You provide some incidents from the text. What is the conflict in Mona Marina's mind? Conflict of dual love, love for the country, love for the son. And how did she resolve it? by making her country free from her cruel son. So, yeah, third one is write the theme of the story, The Mother of a Traitor by Maxim Gorky. So basically, you know theme, right? Good morning. Uh, probably you know about the theme. A text can have multiple themes. Theme means basically the focus of the text, because every text focuses on certain ideas, certain messages, that is taken as uh, theme. This text by Maxim Gorky basically presents two themes: theme of love and theme of sacrifice. Or you can take it as one theme of love and sacrifice. Theme of love and sacrifice. So, how you can be writing, or how you will be writing answer to this question? You know, The Mother of a Traitor by Maxim Gorky, or the short story The Mother of a Traitor by Maxim Gorky, presents the theme of love and sacrifice. Now, you prove that Mona Marina's love towards the country and towards the son, she remains in conflict for a long time because she is in dual love, equal love towards both of these things. And after that, you move to the sacrifice. How Muna Marina sacrifices her life, her son's life, for the betterment of the country, for the happiness of its people. So, what is the main focus? Theme means what is the main focus? Focus is on love and sacrifice, made by basically leaders, made by the mothers, made by the citizens. Got it?
Why Marina killed herself after killing his son, after killing her son?
Yes. So I talked about theme of love. So I talked about theme of love. Yes, Mona Marina's main intention is to make the country free from her cruel son, make the people of the country free from her cruel son. But as a mother, then she kills her son. But as a mother, the pain of killing her son is unbearable, is unbearable, right? As she is already in a conflict which one to save, because she has equal love. She kills her son, then that pain of killing her son is unbearable. She is unable to bear that pain, so she stabs herself to death. You can take it as wise act, unwise act, that is up to you. But due to that unbearable pain, she stabs her son to death. Now, got it? Who asked that question? Uh,
Yes,
Somebody
sir, I
asked
got.
that. Okay. So yes, now you really asked a very critical question. Before discussing on this text, um, it would be better if I could discuss on some of the things, like, yes, we have some time. I will discuss on these things. I forgot to discuss on that part. Then if I discuss on that part, you will be more clear. When you read any text, basically stories and essays, how do you evaluate your understanding whether you have understood these texts or not, or how you should be reading these texts? Let me tell you something. There are four levels of reading these stories and essays, or these texts. Four levels of reading. Now, first one is taken as literal comprehension. This means you just first try to summarize the text, to evaluate whether you have understood or not. The summarizing text is not everything, but first step to evaluate your understanding on the text is whether you can summarize that or not. Second one is interpretation. Yes, interpretation is whether you can dig out the deeper meaning, deeper message of the text or not. This is the second level of evaluating your understanding, whether you can grasp the themes of the text or not, whether you can be familiar with the basic focus of the text or not. That is interpretation. And third thing is critical thinking. Third step is critical thinking. So what do you do under this critical thinking? You just write what you agree with, what you disagree with. Because stories and these essays present the belief of the writers, the intention of the writers, the attitude of the writers. These things include or reflect the attitude, the intention of the authors. It is not necessary that you should agree with each and everything presented by the author. No. How you write critical thinking? I am really, impressed with some of the ideas presented by the writer, like these. But I'm afraid I cannot agree with these ideas. Right? So you cannot agree with that idea, right? First, killing her own son, then stabbing herself to death. What is the value? Even a true leader should be able to face each and every situation in his or her life. You can question there. So this part is critical thinking. What you agree with, what you disagree with, what are the flaws with the text, what are the strength of the text, right? So killing herself to death, it even doesn't mean that you should kill yourself to resolve any conflict. No, killing or sacrificing your life all the time is not the solution to each and every problem. You can question in this way. And last one is uh, assimilation. Means whether you can present a similar story like that of the writer or not, or basically what some lessons you get, right? This, if you take assimilation in the line of moral lesson, at that moment it's similar to interpretation. Yeah, assimilation also includes whether you can present similar story or not, and how the story you have experienced, how the incident you have experienced is different from this story, or how it's similar to the story, whether you can present that. These are the four levels of interpreting, four levels of reading of the text. Yes. So as these are essays and stories, what we go through the opinions, we go through the attitudes, we go through the experiences, we go through the beliefs, we go through the opinions of the writers. Yes, you may or may not agree with the ideas all the time, and it is not necessary to, right? Okay. These are the things. Okay, do you have more queries?
No, sir.
Okay, so if that is so, I wrap up our discussion here for today. Uh, we dealt with two texts to keep in mind: knowledge and wisdom, and the mother of a traitor. In our next class, we will be dealing with rest of the texts. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.